Hey everyone, welcome back to Kelly's Data Insights. If you're new here, I'm Kelly and make tutorial videos on database systems and tech-related videos. In today's video, we're going to dive into creating forms in Epi Info, specifically a survey and questionnaire, as well as entering data in these forms. This is a super useful skill for anyone working in public health. So let's get started. Before we jump into this video, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and click on the bell icon so you never miss a tutorial. Now let's get into creating a form and entering data in Epi Info 7.2. All right, so first we need to open up Epi Info. Double click. Here now you can see that we're on the main menu, and since we're creating a survey as well as a questionnaire, we need to go to create forms. All right, so here you see this open space is our canvas. On the canvas, we're able to create our survey as well as our questionnaire. This is where we'll be working on. So, but first of all, you need to go to new projects. As you can see here, new project. But if you already have an existing project that you've been working on, so you can just go to the section where it's written open project, and then you can open and continue with your form. But since we're creating a new form, so we just go to new project. All right, so now you can see it's written project name. So one thing that you need to remember or have in mind is that in Epi Info, when it comes to project name as well as the section where we have to write the form name, we are not supposed to use spaces. You can't use space, or you cannot use numerics as well. So you don't use spaces in between your words, and you cannot use numerics. So let's just see what happens if I type in my project name with spaces in between. So my project name is Health Survey on malaria. Okay, so I press enter. I move on to description. See, I got an error message and it says invalid project name. Project names cannot contain spaces or non-alphanumeric characters other than underscores. Please enter valid project name. So the only things that you're able to use just to bring that separation is underscore. So you cannot use one, you can't use numerics, so numbers. You can't put numbers in your project name or your form name. And then as well, you can't use spaces. So let's just fix that. So you can either use underscores in between your words, or you can just put them all together. But if you're someone that just likes the separation, it would be best to use underscore. But for me, I'll just put them all together. All right. So now under description, you can write anything basically that you want to describe, or that you want to describe your project or your survey. So for me, I'll just be writing a survey on or rather just a health sorry a health survey on malaria. All right. So the next we can go down to form name, and we could just write our form name as malaria health survey. Okay, so there we are. So then we just press OK. But remember, I made a mistake. We're supposed to not put spaces in between. So let's just fix it. Then okay, there we have it. And then here is our canvas. So before we start creating a survey and a questionnaire, we first need to go through the different fields necessary to create forms. So let's just have a little dive into all the specific fields that are necessary for creating forms. All right, the first one is label or title. So you can either drag the field to the canvas, or you can double click on the field and it will also appear on your canvas. All right, so the title, for example, my title will be health survey on malaria. So health survey on malaria. Okay, so always have to tap here so that it can reflect there. Okay, and then you can see there's a font area where we can change our font. We can change the font, we can change the font style, and we can change the the size. All right, so I'll use, since it's a title, I'll make it bold, and I'll use 18. You can also add or underline your title if you like. You can underline it if you like, but as for me, I won't. All right, so then it's health survey on malaria. Okay, so there you can see it. So you can either, if you would like it in that position, it's fine. But if you want to centralize it or move it around, you can also do that. Like in this example, I'm moving it out to the center. Okay, so that's how you create your title on your canvas. So the next field is text. So for text, you can use it for short answers. A question that has short answers, that's what we use for text. All right, so a question can be as the participant's name. All right, and then you always tap. Okay, so underneath here, you can see that we have maximum number of characters. If you want a specific number of characters the individuals are supposed to type in as their answers, like giving a parameter to say that this answer is only supposed to have 50 characters. You can specify here, or you could just leave it as such. Here underneath, you can see that they are attributes. All right, so the first attribute is read only. So for read only's purpose is for this question or prompt for the participant just to be able to read the prompt or the question and not to answer it. So if you select this, the participant is not able to answer the question as it's only for reading purposes. The next one is required. So when the person or the participant comes to this question, they cannot skip forward to the next question. It's mandatory for them to answer this question, then to move on to the next question. And then here we have repeat last. So for example, our question, for example, if there's a question on, say, street name, and our first participant answered when they were entering data, they answered, for example, Robinson Street. And then the next participant, once they get to this question, their answer will automatically be Robinson Street because you have entered or you have selected repeat last. So then the last one is encrypt. So when the participant is gonna answer sensitive questions, say for example, social security number. So if they answer that question when they're entering data, yes, indeed, as they are typing in their answer, if they are typing in their answer, it will show, but once the answer is saved, it will be encrypted, so no one else will be able to see. When it's saved, it won't be visible for others since these are sensitive questions. All right, so then here you can see here there is prompt. Let me just go to prompt font. Here you can select the font again, whichever font you like, the font style that you like, as well as the size. Say for example, I'm just going to use semi-bold and I'm going to use size 11. Press OK. Okay, so that's our prompt or question. So the individual has to put in their participant's name. So you can just adjust it as you want. Just adjust it to the way that you will find best. All right, let me just remove this. Or let me just leave it here. The next one is text uppercase. So text uppercase is it's very similar to the normal text, but the only difference is that when you save your answer, or once you're typing in your answer, automatically, say for example, if it's your name, it will automatically change your name and your surname to uppercases. So all the characters will be in uppercases. Say for example, we're gonna type in as well, let's say participant surname. Let's just quickly make this semi-bold, size 11. All right. Sometimes it can be laggy. Okay, so let me just show you the difference in enter data so you can see what I mean. So once we go to enter data, remember the first one was the normal text, and then the second one was text with uppercase. All right, so let's go. All right. Okay, so once we're entering data, say for example, remember this is the first one is the normal text, and I say Jane. And then her surname, if I'm typing in the surname and I'm saying Doe, automatically all the characters are changed to caps, to all uppercases. So this is what I mean, the difference. So if I'm typing in Jane, whatever I type is what will appear. And then this one, automatically all of the characters will be in uppercases. All right, so let's just go back to edit form. All right. Okay, let's just quickly remove this. And then here you can delete. This is how you delete. You just right click on your mouse, and then you select delete. All right, so the next field is multi-line. So for multi-line, this is also the same, similar to text, but the only difference is this one is for questions that has longer answers. So for instance, if you were to ask, what do you think are the best ways to prevent malaria? So if this is your question, then you know that it will have a longer answer. It would not just have like a 1 word or 2 word answer. It would have a longer answer. For example, someone might say, you can use mosquito repellents, or you can use mosquito nets. So this one is for answers that are longer. All right, so you can press field name. For the sake of, you can just, all right. So as you can see, you could just adjust it. Sorry, it's a bit laggy. You can adjust it the way you like. All right, so that is for multi-line. Okay, so next we can go to the next field is number. All right, so for number is for all the numeric answers. For example, age, and for example, as well as weight. Those are numeric answers that you can get. So let's say age, or participant age. All right. Okay, and then here we have patterns. So as you can see, there is a hash there. So that hash represents 1 unit. So meaning it represents like from 0 to 9. So one digit, it represents a digit. So the next one represents 2 digits. So that would be 1, 2, or like 1 until 99. And then the next one has 3 digits, which represents, say for example, 1, 2, 3, and say for example 1, 2, 3, and as well as until maybe 999. And then the next one is 4 digits, and that would represent 1, 2, 3, 4, for example, until 9999. And then the next one has a decimal point, so therefore it's 2 digits in front, point or decimal point, and after the decimal point it has 2 other digits. And the next one is similar, just having after the decimal point has 2 other digits. All right, so that could be say 12.123, and then this one could be, for example, 12.78. All right, so since we're saying age, we can keep it until 3 digits. All right, and then you can see here it's similar to the others. The only difference is range. So range is what parameters do you want to give for the answers. For example, you just want your answer to contain 1 until say 100, or yeah, you could say 190, for example. So that's your parameter that you have, that range that you have. All right, so that's your answer for the numeric field. So you could change it around. You want to place it like this. And then maybe just move this box there. So you can just adjust it to your liking. All right, for the sake of this tutorial, let me just delete so that I can make space. All right, so the next one is phone number. Quite self-explanatory. So you can write participant, for example, cell phone number, and here there are patterns as well, different patterns of cell phone numbers, or you could use a phone number if you'd like, whatever is beneficial or whatever you want in your survey. So I would use this one, and you press OK. Okay, so that's that. So the next one is date. All right, so in this section or in this field, you can write dates, anything that has to do, maybe, for example, appointment date. Appointment date. And this could be, as you can see here, it includes the individual can type in and select the day, the month, and then the year. But if you want to stay within a specific range for the participants to answer the questions based on these specific parameters that you set or the ranges that you set, for example, you only want them to answer questions from the 17th of August, for example, until, say, for example, you're giving the range until the 17th of October. That's your range. So if an individual or the participant is gonna answer a question, if they're going to answer or put a date of the 16th, the system will give an error and they are not able to write to press in or type in the answer like that. So if the individual also was to type in the 18th or the 8th month, it would also give an error. Let me just change this. Sorry, this would not make sense. For example, this would be, let's say, October the 17th, and then this could go to October, let's say November the 30th. So that gives us parameters or a range to be able to answer. All right. Okay. So the next one is time. Time. This one is also pretty much self-explanatory. So for example, appointment time. For example, what time were you supposed to be there, or what time was your appointment? So you could give a range of, say, for example, 8:30. So you could give the individual or the participant can type in or select the time as 8:30. All right. And then the next one we have as date / time. So this one would be appointment date / time. So in this one, it would include both the date, which would be the day, the month, and the year, and then the time. Say, for example, 9:15. So that's for date and time. So that one will include both the date as well as the time. Okay. All right, so the next one would be checkbox. But for checkbox, you need to use group to be able to, because this one is, the checkbox is basically just a selection. Let me just show you. So here, for example, our question could be, what are the symptoms of malaria? All right, so what are the symptoms of malaria? Okay, so you see that there is a, oops. So in properties, you can actually change the color as well. If you'd like it to be green, for example, if you'd like it to be gray, whatever color that fits or whatever you like, you could select that. For now, we're just going to leave it as white. All right. And then, for example, the answers could be, so then we go to checkbox for us to be able to, so then we can write, for example, one of the symptoms can be fever. Fever. All right. Let's just expand it a bit. Can have fever there. And then let's see. The next one we could say weight loss. You can place it on the right hand side. As you can see, this one we selected, we just left it on the left hand side. You could put it on the right hand side. All right, so weight loss, and make sure you put it into the whole group as a group. And let's just put another one in, the last one, and we could say, for example, chills. Okay. Okay, so then you can see the question is, what are the symptoms of malaria? So the participant can just select whether it's fever, weight loss, or chills, whatever, or they can select all. It's dependent on the individual. All right, for the next field, we can use, the next field is actually option, no, yes or no. So for yes or no, you can select anything that the answer will be either yes or no. So then the participant has to select either yes or no to the answer. For example, have any of your relatives ever experienced malaria? Okay. So then the participant could answer yes, they have experienced malaria, or no, none of their relatives have experienced malaria. So this is a yes or no question. All right, so you can see it's a drop down list. So if the individual can select either yes or no. Okay, so the next one is option. All right, so the next one is options, where the individual can, or the participant can answer the question by selecting different options. All right, and this is basically like two or three, more than two options that can be drafted in the options. So for example, we could say, what can we use? For example, you could still use the same one as to say, let's say gender. And for example, you just select male and female. So those are your two options. If you want more options, you could select more. Just select here. If you'd like your list to be vertical or horizontal, you can select that. Vertical meaning straight up, or horizontal meaning sideways. And then start listing the options on the left or the right. You could select whichever way you'd like. And then the attributes, show the label on the right or the left. So whichever one you can select. All right. So here, the participant can just select either male or female or any other options that are given. Okay, so the next one, the last one but not least, is legal values. All right. For legal values, you could select anything really. You could select, let's type in, say for example, what symptoms? What symptoms did you experience? And then you could go to the data source to type in the different options for the participant to answer. So once you're here, you can go to create new. And then here you can just type in the different ones. For example, chills, fever, tap, fatigue, say a last one, nausea. Okay, press OK, and then OK again. All right, so then you can see here that there is a drop-down list, and you can see in the drop-down list is all of those options that we placed in: chills, fatigue, fever, and nausea. All right, so that's all of the fields that are very necessary for drafting a form. All right, so now I'm going to show you how to enter data in a form. As you can see on the canvas here, I created a form, a very short form that has 6 questions. And we'll enter data into this form. But before we get started, I just wanted to show you how to make your background more aesthetically pleasing, because some people might think this is just not the greatest. So you can just go to format, then you can go to background, then here you can see background image. So you can choose whatever image that you have on your device to just, I'll use this one just for an example, and then you just press OK. There you see on the canvas that the image that we selected is now in our background. So now you can actually use any image that is that will support your survey, that is actually in line with your survey. All right, so if you don't want an image and maybe you just want the color, the background color to be different, so you can just clear that image and then you can go to change color. So you can choose from any of these colors. Let's say we are going to choose this blue, then you can just press OK, then it will be applied to your current page only. I'll explain more about pages, and then we press OK. Alright, so now you can see that our background color is changed to blue. Now just change it back to the white. We just clear color and then we'll be back to our white background. Alright, so then when we're discussing about pages, if you want, for example, if you scroll down on your page and you're still wanting to ask some more questions on your survey or your questionnaire, and you see that there's not enough space, you can actually go to here where you see Malaria Health Survey, which is your form name. You can actually right click on it and then you can press add page. Alright, so you see page name. So the page 2, you can change the name to any title. For example, you can change it to questions on malaria if you'd like, then press OK. Then here you can see that this is our new page. Even page 1, you can select it, right click on it, and you can also rename it or delete it. So here you can also delete, so you can right click again and then delete the page. Alright, so there are two different ways of entering data. If you're in creating the form mode, you can just go there on top at enter data and you just click on enter data. And now we'll be in the section of entering data for the participants. I was previously using this for you. It might not show 1 as to 2. I was just going through. Alright, so let's just see. This is our first method. Then we can go out of there and then just quickly go to our main page. So in our main page or home page, we can just go to enter data. Okay, so then you just open form. So now you can just go to your created form by going to browse, and then you can go either to health survey on malaria, the current form that we were doing, or there's another one that I created which is a questionnaire on tuberculosis. So let's just double click and then select the questionnaire, then we open, then we press OK. Alright, there you have it. So here we can now enter data for our participant. Our participants can enter data. Alright, then we can go back to our first form for malaria. So for example, the participant name can be Maya Thomas, and then we can say Maya's age is probably 26 years old, and Maya is a female. Have you ever been diagnosed with malaria? And Maya is saying no. And on the scale of 1 to 5, how would you rate your access to malaria prevention resources in your community? And then she could probably say very poor, and select very poor. As we scroll down to the last question, which of the following prevention methods do you regularly use? Then she could select mosquito nets, insect repellent, and indoor spraying. Alright, so now if we want to continue to the next participant, you just go to new record. You just press at new record. And then here now you are at a new record. So now we can, our next participant's name is Ben Peterson. And then Ben's age, say Ben's age is 54. Ben is a male. Have you ever been diagnosed with malaria? Yes. On the scale of 1 to 5, how would you rate your access to malaria prevention resources in your community? And then Ben would probably say it's about average. And then the last question, which of the following prevention methods do you regularly use? Then Ben probably says none. All right, so then maybe if we only have 2 participants, then we can save over here. We just save. So that's how we entered our data. So if we can go to our other form, which is our questionnaire on tuberculosis awareness. So we can say our participant's name is, say, Sarah. Sarah Benson. Her age is 35. Gender is a female. Contact details, you can say perhaps that was a contact detail. What do you think is the best effect, or what do you think is the most effective way to prevent malaria? So now this is the multi-line, so you can type in what you think is best. So she'll probably say So by using mosquito nets, and then do you believe TB is curable? Then she could select no. What was your last visit to a health facility for TB checkup? So maybe the day was, say, the 8th of, let's say, January 2024, and what time was it? So maybe we could choose was 8:30 a.m. So the next question is, which of the following do you believe are symptoms of TB? And she probably says, coughing up blood, perhaps, and then she'd probably say weight loss, and then she'd probably should think of it. So now she only has to think of which one. So now we're just supposed to select one. So she'd think and probably select persistent cough. All right, so that is how we enter data. So if we want to create another one, we go back to new record, and then we start our process again by saying, for example, John Doe, his age is, say, 85, and he is a male, and his contact details are probably, or just for an example, what do you think preventative methods? We could say so probably that is his answer. What do you believe TB? Do you believe TB is curable? And then he could probably say yes, it's curable. When was the last visit to a health facility? Maybe he has never been to a health facility, and then he skips this question. And which of the following do you believe are symptoms of TB? And maybe he chooses weight loss. Then we can save. So that is how you enter your data on a form. Welcome to my motivation corner. At the end of every video, we reflect and find inspiration to keep us motivated. Success is not final. Failure is not fatal. It is the courage to continue that counts. Winston Churchill. So no matter where you find yourself in this journey of life, know this: success and failure are just moments along the way. They're there to build the best version of you. So keep pushing, keep learning, and keep growing. Never stop believing in your dreams.